This is so wizarding.
Hey, this is Joe from Dinner Podcast, and that's so wizard.
Broadcasting very fast and very dangerous from the planet Malastare. You are listening to So Wizard.
You're thinking people gonna die?
The only podcast to make the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
What's going on, everybody? It is time for episode number 218 of the So Wizard Podcast. I'm your host, Joey DiCarlo. My co-hosts are the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
Hi.
And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagans.
I am back and on the attack. What's going on, everybody?
You are listening to So Wizard Podcast. Three friends discuss the world of nerd, podcasting weekly. This week, we've got some nerdy news. We're going to talk a little bit about my time at New York Comic Con. And then we're going to have a full review and reaction to the newest movie from Sony's cinematic universe featuring Spider-Man that may not feature Spider-Man, Venom. Before we get into all that, how is everyone doing this week? Mark Ellis. Tell us, Mark Ellis, what's going on in your life?
It's a good question. I actually had a day off this week, which was very unusual for me. I got to work on the art project that I've been working on. I got to put a little bit more time on that. I still don't know if I'm going to make it. The deadline is coming up really soon, but I'm trying really hard to get it done. And I also went to go see Hamilton this weekend, which was pretty dope. It's very rare to get a chance to see a Broadway show that's also a hip hop concert, but it was a lot of fun. So I recommend, if you can afford it, because the tickets are fucking expensive, definitely go check out Hamilton. It's really cool.
Awesome. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I know.
What is
like,
that?
No one cares.
I don't like that. The only musicals I like are Grease 2 and Rocky Horror.
Oh, God.
How many songs about tricking someone into having sex with you because World War III is starting are there in Hamilton?
If you replace World War III with World War I, then there's 2 songs.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Well, now you have my attention. How about you, Aubrey? What's going on?
I'm alive.
Yay!
One day at a time. I'm alive.
Excellent. That's all we can hope for, right? That's
Yeah.
all we can hope for.
Yep.
That's right, Aubrey. Keep your spirits up.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You can do it.
You can do it.
That's right. Oh, you got to see Tom Hardy on a big screen, so that's got to be something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was pretty excited about that. Can't be honest.
There you
It's
go.
like my heart sang, and then I read an article where he shook the paw of a dog. Oh,
See? There you go.
my ovaries.
If only we knew that was all it took to get panties dropping.
Thousands of dogs everywhere, prepared to have your hand shaken.
How are you doing, Joey?
I am recovering.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, I'm not bad. Not bad. So as we know, I went to New York Comic Con this past week. Just me and Derek, who you may know from Not Another Nerdy Podcast. Also one of my best friends for like 24 years. But usually, like I said, on the past couple of weeks, we go with a huge group, but it was just the two of us this time. So, we rolled in on Wednesday. The show's Thursday through Sunday. We only went Thursday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided we were going to go on Wednesday because that way we can be in the city Wednesday night, grab something to eat, fart around a little bit, go to bed. And then the next morning we can get up and we're already in the city. I don't have to get up at 3:30 in the morning to get on the train at 5 to be there for when the show opens.
Right.
Because then when you do that by like 3:30 in the afternoon, you're a complete mess.
Right. Yep.
It's not really that much fun. So we decided that. And so, we jumped on the train and we took the train into New York. We got off and took a taxi. Did we take a taxi? No. When we got off the train, we walked to the hotel, the wonderful Skyline in Hell's Kitchen.
Word.
Less than like 2 blocks away from where they filmed Daredevil and Elektra fighting in the Daredevil movie in the playground.
Whenever I walk past that park, it hurts my heart a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
That's right. Thankfully, we didn't have a big enough group of people where we were walking by booing every time this trip. But so we walked to the skyline. As we were walking, we walked literally right by the Titans premiere for DC Universe.
Oh, nice.
There's a huge crowd of people out front and like cars and stuff. And, Jim Lee was out there. Jeff Johns was out there. The whole cast was out there. So we could actually see all of this.
Wow. Were they just like out in front? Like anybody can walk up to them?
Well, they had like a gray carpet.
Yeah.
Not a red carpet, but a gray carpet. And then there were people pressed up against like the barriers, like desperately trying to like get high fives or autographs. So.
Right.
But I did get a really good look at the girl playing Starfire.
Yeah.
Dude, they did her so dirty on this show. So dirty.
She's smoking, isn't she?
Dude, she's smoking hot in real life. Like 100 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I already knew she was hot from her pictures on Facebook and like Instagram or whatever. Because we researched what she looked like other than when she's Starfire
right.
in this show. But like seeing her in real life, it was just like, holy shit. Why didn't they just like CG her skin orange and leave her alone? Like, what did they do to this poor woman? Because, dude, she's hot.
Jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I was 20 feet away from her, Mark.
Mm.
But yeah, we went to, we got back to the hotel, we got checked in, and we went to eat. We went to a place. They went to that barbecue place that I had been like frothing for like 2 years, and it was really, really good. But the Brontosaurus ribs were $35 each.
Oh, damn!
So I did not get one. I wasn't on as tight a budget as I thought because I managed to bang out a couple big sales on eBay before we left.
Nice.
But there's no way I was wasting $35 on one meal.
Right.
So that didn't work. But I did get some barbecue, and it was amazing. I got some burnt ends and some mac and cheese, and it was good. So Mighty Quinn's Barbecue, New York City. Check it out. Then we went over to Midtown Comics and farted around in there for a while, which was cool. We saw Todd Knock was in there.
Who?
He's an artist for Marvel that you hear him at the beginning of dinner, a podcast.
Todd Knock. Shit, he was there?
He was literally just in Midtown buying comics.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Derek's like, there's Todd Knock. I was like, go ask him about dinner at a podcast.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Shouldn't he be like locked in a basement somewhere? Shouldn't he be locked in Steve's basement?
Just being forced to draw sketches over and over again.
Yeah, man. How did he get
out?
My
hand hurts. Shut up and draw Booster Gold.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And then that was it. We went to Gotham Market and got a couple snacks after that. And then we watched a little bit of the baseball game and we went back to the hotel and get some rest. That was the crazy thing about this trip was I ate so much.
Yeah.
Like, because you're just walking nonstop. And it just feels like you're always hungry. So I was keeping track of my walking, and it was a lot. It was even more than when I usually go to work. So it was pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So the second day, Thursday was when the actual con opened. So one thing we wanted to do since we were already in the city was we didn't feel the need to line up outside at 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
So we just slept, got up at 10, took a shower, got dressed, went to the Gotham Market and ate breakfast, and we rolled into the con, and it literally was like 2.5 minutes from the time we got there to like walk in the door.
Oh, nice.
Because there was no line. We had gone late enough where there wasn't line. Because in my opinion, like the booths, all this stuff's going to be there. I don't care about the exclusives. There weren't any exclusives that I wanted. I certainly wasn't going to like battle this masses of humanity for Funko Pops or anything like that. So yeah. It was fine. Just roll in a couple hours after it opens and there's like no line. So yeah. So the first day we really just wanted to spend on the main floor. So we were there 2 days. So the main floor was the first day. Artist Alley was the second day. My goal was to start in aisle 100, 0100, and just work our way up and down and go through the whole floor, which we almost did. But it's tough because it get redirected by giant crowds and booths and stuff. Derek made me wait in line at Super 7 for like an hour and 15 minutes for a couple exclusives. They had a dead Optimus Prime. So it's Optimus Prime, but he's all gray, like in Transformers the movie when he dies.
Holy shit! No kidding.
Yeah, and it was cool, you know. And I think there's a couple other things he got too, like some sort of action figure, like a skeleton. I don't know what that was, but we waited in this big line. So there's 2 huge lines at this booth, and ladies like, this one's cash and this one's card. So we got in the card line. We get all the way up to the front after an hour and 15 minutes, and ladies like, oh, the cards are down. We can't process cards. And it's not like we didn't have the cash, but we were holding on to our cash because there's a lot of other booths that don't take card.
Right.
You know, so she's like, come back later, and I'll you can just come up to the side here and I'll make sure you get your stuff. I'm like, okay. So eventually, I think like maybe an hour or 2 later, we went back, and Derek was able to just go right up to the side of the register, and she knew what we wanted, and she knew we had gotten kind of screwed over by the waiting in line, so she rang him right up, and it was all set.
Nice.
So then I wandered off to go meet up with Superhero Speak and Pina Comics were both there.
Yeah.
And the reason Derek didn't come is because he had to get in line to get exclusive Bruce Lee Funko Pop at a company called Bait. Had a booth there. So he was in that line, and I didn't know how long that line was going to be, but I was like, I'm not waiting.
Seriously.
So I went and I talked to those guys, which is cool to see them for like maybe like half an hour. Pina Comics was only there one day.
Did they have a table set up? Like
no, they were just there wandering around.
Oh, nice.
And then Superhero Speak were there as press. And what was crazy is like they were just like running around like chickens with their head cut off. Like they had so much stuff they had to do. There was press junkets and screenings and panels and interviews, and like it was crazy. It almost made me feel glad that we didn't get passes, just seeing how exasperated they were. And they loved it, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have so much freaking cool content for their show for like the next 2 months because of all the crazy interviews they did. I think they had to talk to Bryan Cranston at one point for some cartoon that he's doing. So they got some really cool content. Yeah, it was just they were exasperated. It was only halfway through the day on Thursday, so but good for them. And I only really want the passes for the validation. I could care less about anything else that has to do with it.
Don't say that on the show, dude.
New York Comic Con, notice me, senpai. That's all I care about. Yeah. Just want to be able to rub it in people's faces. Look, we're press. We're real press. But yeah, so then I headed back after like a half an hour, 45 minutes of shooting the shit with those guys. I head back over to wherever Derek is, and he's still in line. This fucking thing. So we get in line, and the line like goes around the booth like 50 times, and we finally got up to the front, and the lady's like, "How many do you want?" And he's like, "Oh, just one." So we buy the Bruce Lee pop, and he puts it in a plastic holder, and he got some metal Transformers that were like Wu-Tang colors.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
They were cool, I guess. But then we were like looking on eBay, and it's like, man, those Bruce Lees are going for double retail because they were $30 each, but they were selling for 60 to 70. Yeah. So we should have bought like 3 or 4 of them and split them. But yeah, we didn't get to do that. So then we went back to going up and down the rows of stuff, and we ran into Keith Gleason, and he was tearing it up. He was doing really good selling stuff. He was super happy. So it was cool to see him. We ran into Aaron Wood, who had a booth. He had a big booth there, too. So it was cool to see him. I got one of his new Voltron posters for Janine.
Oh, nice.
And then the one thing I wanted to do all day, is I got to meet Neptune Suicide.
Right.
I was so happy.
I saw that picture, dude. I have never seen you happier ever.
Yeah, you can see the picture on our Instagram. But yeah, she had a booth there. She was signing at T Fury's booth, and I just went over and talked to her a little bit, and God, I was so fucking nervous. But I can confirm in real life that she's super nice. She gave me a big hug. She signs a print for me. We get to take a picture together. She smelled really good,
of course,
and she's smoking hot. And then I was done for the day. I didn't care about seeing anything else. I was ready to go back to the hotel. But we did meet up with Matt Mann. He used to do Secret Identity podcast with Brian for like a million years, and now they do Power Chords podcast, which is music based. But he was there at the Monarch Comics table because that's who is distributing his Doctor Who book now. Yeah. So he had an updated version with some of the newer doctors in it since it came out, and they're distributing it. So we got to talk to him for a little while. We got to meet the guy that runs Monarch Comics, which was cool. And then we went a little later on in the day to like a meetup at a bar for Monarch Comics, where we got to hang out with them and talk about comics and nerdy stuff and kind of network a little bit. So, yeah, we got some cool stuff going on there. And then later on in the day, I had to go to the Nintendo store. So this was like the most important thing. Colin wanted me to buy him plushies at the Nintendo store.
Of course.
Which is at Rockefeller Center, which is a million miles away. So we're like, fuck it. We're going to go. So we start walking from the hotel. We were already back at the hotel. We start walking from the hotel. It starts raining. Like, fuck. So we go back to the hotel and get our sweatshirts and go back outside. And now it's pouring, just like pouring. So we're like, we can't fucking walk there. We're going to get drenched. So we had to take an Uber, which is the first Uber of the night.
Yeah.
So took an Uber over to Rockefeller Center. I got to buy him a couple of plushies at the Nintendo store. He could have, if he was there, he could have spent like $2,000 on stuffed animals, no doubt. And we went and ate some terrible pizza. So again, we were super hungry. So we ate some terrible pizza that tastes like cardboard.
How do you get terrible pizza in New York?
Because like literally every 3 feet, there's like somebody's broom closet that has a pizza place in it.
Yeah.
And we just ducked into the first one we saw. We weren't discerning at all. We were just super hungry.
Gotcha.
And we didn't want to spend money on another Uber. But we got a couple slices of pizza each. I mean, they were fine, but it was like within like an hour, I was hungry again. There was nothing to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we had to take another Uber. We spent like $300 on Uber, just, in New York City. Took another Uber over to where Steve from Dinner and a Podcast teaches at his school. And we went and recorded a crossover episode with Dinner and a Podcast. So that episode is actually out now as you hear this, so you can check it out. Dinner and a Podcast X, So Wizard X, now another nerdy podcast, where we talked a lot about cons, about going to cons and, that kind of stuff. Because they had been at the show a little bit, but he had to work and they were only there for like half a day. We hung out with them. And then the next day, Friday, same thing. We got up, we went to the con a little later in the day so we could get in. Then we just busted out in Artist Alley. I saw Adam Walenta. He was doing a bang up job. I only got to talk to him for like 30 seconds because like you couldn't get near him.
Oh yeah.
He had people at his booth. So like, I didn't want to be in his way, make that money. And, I had to get some stuff for Janine, went up and down the aisles. There were a couple things I really wanted, but I just couldn't pull the trigger because they were too expensive. So.
Yeah.
And then the second day, so we finished everything we wanted to do. It was about 3:00, and Elise Loren, who you may remember me talking about a year or so ago when we were talking about our Women Crush of the Year, who's a cosplayer, does online camming.
Okay.
And, I think she was on Suicide Girls as well. She's really attractive. She was going to be there at a booth, but only from 4:30 on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, I got the one person I wanted yesterday. This is the only other person I want today. That's it. So I'm sorry, Derek, we have to hang out. So we hung out and people watched for like an hour, and it's 4:28. And I'm like, he's like, all right, it's time. Let's go. I'm like, I don't want to be like some weirdo, creepy guy, like hanging out at this booth before she gets there. That's weird, right? And it's like, all right, well, so we got there at like 4:32.
The 4-minute difference.
That's right. And she wasn't there yet, but like, we're just kind of like milling about. And then like, as we're standing there, like more and more weirdos start like milling about.
Yeah.
More creepy single men just keep milling about till there's about like 35, 40 people there. And Derek was fucking dying. He's like, every time I blink, there's more creepy weirdos showing up. So we're all just kind of standing there, and finally one guy goes, you guys waiting for Elise to show up? We're like, yeah. He's like, oh, me too. Oh. So she was there at this artist booth who has a comic coming out called White Widow. And so she was there. He had her at the booth, so she was dressed up as the character. And then she showed up. I got to meet her, take a picture with her. She was super nice, smoking hot. She smelled really good. She signed a print for me, and that was it. That was our time at New York Comic Con. We went and got some food again, and we headed home. There wasn't these big exciting stories that usually come with it because it was only two of us, and I don't drink. So,
right.
And like I was saying to Derek as we were heading out Friday morning. We were both exhausted. And we hadn't really done anything. It's like, we're not 23 anymore. We're not going to go to these shows and stay up for 72 straight hours of debauchery. And when you're in New York City, it's a lot of walking. So you don't think that you're going to be as tired as you are, but it wipes you out. You're walking like 21,000 steps in a day.
Yep.
Like you're going to be tired. So, but yeah, I had a really good time. It was nice to see everybody and look forward to hopefully going back next year. I'm going to start saving now.
Yeah, seriously. I was super jealous, dude, when I saw that this rapper that I love, Common, was there because he has a book coming out.
Yep.
And he was there signing books. I'm like, oh, shit, I would have loved to have met him. And then another artist that I like called Lights, she has a book called Skin and Earth that's out that she wrote and drew herself. And she's also a musician. She was there signing her book. I'm like, fuck. Would have loved to meet her too. So I was super jealous when I saw that they were there. But then my wallet was like,
I got a copy of Monstrous, the first Monstrous trade paperback signed by Marjorie Liu for Janine, because it looked really cool and she was really cool and the art was amazing. So I said, fuck it, and I spent the $20.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fair. That's good, dude. Yeah, I was super jealous over some of the people that were there, but I was glad that I was not there. Me and my wallet were both glad that we were home.
Yeah, you would have been in Artist Alley literally for 2 days straight and spent all your money.
Yep. I already lived that life. I told that story last year. But we should definitely try and do it next year.
Yeah, and it was fun. And we got BingCon coming up in Springfield, Massachusetts, October 27th. That's a 1-day show, smaller show at a church that supports the Bing Arts program near where we live. So if you're in the area, stop by. And then we've got Rhode Island Comic Con coming up in November. So we still have a couple things before we go into con hibernation until April of next year.
Thank God.
Cool. So now that I've talked everyone's ear off for 15 minutes, Mark Ellis, why don't you tell all the listeners out there where they can find more So Wizard podcasts?
Sure. All right. So everybody can go to SoWizardPodcast.com where you will find new episodes every week. You will also find movie reviews from yours truly, Netflix and Amazon streaming picks from our buddy Adam Wallyhawk. You'll also find our merchandise there so you can purchase some of our t-shirts and look good while you're representing the show. Another great way to support our show is by doing your Amazon shopping through the link that we keep right on the website. Click on the big A, do your shopping, receive your products, and you'll be helping out our little show. You can also find our social media links there. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review while you're there. You can also find us on a Stitcher Radio app for your tablet or smartphone, Podbean, Google Play Music, and you can also stream us through Spotify. And you can also help out our show by contributing to our Patreon, patreon.com/So Wizard Podcast to help out the show. And that is it. Back to you, Joey.
Hello, ladies. How'd you like to spend a little quality time with this sexy bod, huh?
I was thinking about you and your cosplayers. That's why.
Oh, God. Thanks a lot. I actually was thinking about next year, one of the days I should go and cosplay as Chris Chan.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see.
Hello, ladies.
That's right. If I could convince Derek to go as Liquid Chris, maybe we'd make a good pair. All right, Mark Ellis, bring forth your news.
Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news. Yo, we getting ready to bring you the news, boy.
All right, so this week in Nerdy News, there was actually a lot of stuff to talk about. So much that if we went through it all, this would be like a 5-hour epic episode. So this week, we're just going to concentrate on all the trailers that dropped this past week. Thank you, New York Comic Con, for giving us geeks something to talk about. So let's go through the trailers. What I would like to do is I'm going to name off some trailers. I want you guys to give me your quick opinions of the trailer and give it a score of 0 to 5 of how you think the trailer worked for you. Let's start with the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, a Netflix TV show that's it's from the producers of the Riverdale show, even though it's not connected, not that we know of. The trailer dropped, and the show will be premiering right before Halloween, October 26th. What did you guys think of the trailer? And give it a score of 1 to 5. Let's start with Aubrey.
5.
Five.
5, 5, 5.
Wow.
I'm so excited for this. So excited.
Were you a fan of the original show?
I was. I watched every single episode. I absolutely loved Melissa Joan Hart. I loved that show so much. I cannot wait. I am so excited. So hyped.
Nice. All right, Joey, what about you, man?
We'll give it a 666 out of 5. I am also super excited for this. I loved the old show. I love Melissa Joan Hart and her lazy eye.
What? I never noticed.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. And I'm really excited for this thing. It looks awesome. The comic it's based off of is fucking fantastic. So, it looks like the visuals are up to snuff, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Bring it on.
Yeah, I did not watch the original show at all. And I didn't read the comic books. I really had no idea what to expect, but this trailer looked amazing. Right around halfway through it, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to binge this entire show, aren't I? It's probably going to happen. So yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 too. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, October 26th.
Right. And the plan is for us to, at least review the first few episodes when it comes out.
Cool. All right, so the next one is another Netflix show that's going to be coming out. It is Shira and the Princesses of Power, kind of based on the old cartoon show of He-Man's sister or cousin. I'm not really sure. I never saw the original show. I can safely say I've never seen one episode of Shira. But this one has like a unique style to it. It seems like it's aiming for a very youthful group. And the animation looked a little stilted, but it wasn't that bad. What did you think of it, Joey?
I thought it looked cool. I'm interested in this. I'll give it like a 3.75 because I'm interested. It's from people creatively that are behind Voltron. So I love that show. Obviously, I watched Shira as a kid. I wasn't super invested in it because it was for girls. Ew. And I think this looks cool. So I'm going to give it a shot. I know my daughter and her friends that are all Voltron crazy are very excited for it. So that's good. Everything they showed at Comic-Con and online looks cool. So we'll give it a shot. We'll see. I would give it a higher score, but like I said, I don't think it's made for me. So, as a 41-year-old man, I don't know how excited I can be for a show made for tween and teenage girls, but I'm as excited as I can be.
Cool. All right, Aubrey, what about you?
It's about a 3. I don't really care, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
All right, yeah, I think I'm around the same boat, probably around like a 3 or so. Like I said, the animation looked a little cheesy, but I did kind of like the plot of her working for the bad guys and not realizing that she was working for the bad guys. Kind of reminded me of Alias. So in that aspect, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So, yeah, so we'll see. That one is going to be November 16th on Netflix. All right, so speaking of Netflix, there's also going to be Daredevil Season 3. They dropped a couple of trailers. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is with Matt Murdock donning a black outfit, the Kingpin making a deal to get out of jail and bring Daredevil down. And Daredevil actually runs into another person dressed like him. I thought this trailer looked amazing. I don't know what it is about that Daredevil character and the storyline, but for some reason it's just that Daredevil character and Netflix seems like a match made in heaven. I am so ready for this show. I can't even believe it. What did you guys think of this trailer? Aubrey, did you get a chance to see the Daredevil one?
Yeah, I'm at about a 3 because I still have yet to watch, the other seasons of Daredevil.
Yep.
So, I would probably be more excited had I watched them, but I haven't. So I'm at about a 3.
Did this trailer entice you to want to catch up with it?
Yeah, maybe if I had a life.
If you had some time, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Joey?
I thought it looked really cool. I'd probably give it a 4. I really love Daredevil season 1 and 2, but there's a lot of baggage at this point. I mean, I couldn't get through Luke Cage season 2.
Oh, it's so good.
I couldn't get through Defenders at all. Like there's like Luke Cage, I could probably turn around and watch it again if I like forced myself and then got back into it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's bad, but Defenders was bad. It was really boring. Jessica Jones season 2 was only okay. And then I don't know if I mentioned this in the show, but I tried to watch Iron Fist season 2.
Yeah.
And I was watching the first episode and I'm like, fuck, man, this must be almost over. And I like touched the thing so you see how much is left in the episode, and it had been like 20 minutes. And I was like, I can't do this, and I shut it off. So,
wow.
So to me, like now we're starting to run into almost a DCEU track record with these shows where I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm excited. I think it looks really cool. Kingpin in his white uniform, clearly Bullseye as the other Daredevil. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very cautious right now.
All right. So what's your score on that?
I give it a 4.
4. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5 because you get Daredevil in the black suit, you get Bullseye, you get the Kingpin in a white suit. I mean, it's like this is what you would want for a Daredevil TV show. And plus, Karen Page. So, you know, I'm going to bump it up half a score just for that.
Can never have enough Karen Page.
Seriously.
Aubrey, did we establish if you think that you agree with us that she's attractive or no?
She doesn't like
Which one's Karen Page?
She's the blonde, annoying reporter girl that used to be in love with Matt.
Oh, she's got a weird face.
She used to be on True Blood. I think she had red hair.
I don't know. She looks like she should be a ginger, but dyes her hair for some reason.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh boy. Well, me and Mark still love you, Karen.
She's average looking.
Oh, average. Damn.
Sorry.
That's all right, D.
Sorry, Karen Page. It's not bad to be average looking, but I'm just a lady.
Maybe that's what drives her to heroin, like in the comics.
Oh my God, there's so many cool scenes in that trailer. Jesus, I can't wait. So Daredevil season 3, that is that's soon. It's October 19th. It's coming up pretty soon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of the Marvel Universe, I would definitely understand if you guys did not see this trailer at all, because this one is made just for me. On Hulu, we have Runaway season 2. Even though I was somewhat disappointed with season 1, the trailer for season 2 looks amazing. I was blown away. I cannot wait for the show to start. Did you guys get a chance to see it, and what did you think, Joey?
I watched it. I didn't watch any of Runaways after the first 2 episodes. It was just really boring.
Yeah.
Was that another one where Hulu was putting it out once a week so you couldn't binge it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that combined with not being super into it made me just completely fall off, and I haven't watched it at all. I guess that makes me a bad nerd, but you know, sorry.
No, hey, that's their business model. That's what they're trying out. So if it doesn't work for everyone, it doesn't work. I could definitely understand that. Aubrey, what about you? Did you watch that trailer?
I did. It's alright.
It's alright. All right.
Yeah.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
You finished the whole season though, Mark?
Oh hell yeah! It was something to look forward to. It like made my weeks go by faster.
Oh god.
Was
that good, huh?
Well, it wasn't that good, but I mean, it wasn't like great, but it was something to look forward to. You know, like I would be going about my regular week, and I'd be like, "Holy shit! There's a new Runaways that's on."
What about editing?
Yeah, it kills my week. I spent like 5 days editing, and I wake up like, "Holy shit! There's a Runaways on." So, I was, you know, the trailer had Chase using a gauntlet. It had Old Lace attacking someone. Caroline was glowing. They're introducing the vampire character from the comic book, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for Runaways. I'm going to give it a 4. 4 out of 5.
I'll give it a 2.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Aubrey?
I'll go with a 3.
A 3? All right, that's good. I like that.
I'm going to give everybody that I'm indifferent to a 3.
Aubrey's a very nice grader.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll take it. All right. So then a couple of more. The next one is Into the SpiderVerse. Speaking of Marvel, they got to play a little bit of a longer clip, and where we got to see a few more of these spider people from the different verses, including Nicolas Cage as the Noir Spider-Man and Spider-Ham. It's fucking ridiculous. I cannot wait for this movie. I will be there opening day, 3D glasses on, ready to go. I thought this trailer was amazing. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. What did you think of it, Aubrey?
I give it a 3.
Wow, really? You weren't like...
It's animated, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not... The only animated thing I watch is like South Park.
Hentai.
I watch anime, but you know, South Park is the only animated thing that I watch besides anime. So I mean, it's just not that appealing to me. I mean, it's cool graphics and everything, but it's just nothing I'm gonna actively seek out to watch.
My heart just broke a little bit. Joey, what about you, dude?
Sorry.
I thought it looked awesome. I think everything I see with this movie as we move forward looks better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're at a point where I don't want to see anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen enough. I didn't stay through the whole credits at Venom to watch the scene that they showed because I didn't want to. I've seen enough. I know I want to see it. I don't need to have it spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing at Comic-Con. They had a panel and they showed 35 minutes of the movie, and I don't want to see 35 minutes of the movie. I want to see it in the movie theater. So I was not interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested in this trailer, and I love Spider-Man, so we'll see. I'll give it a 4.75, and it would be higher, but it's animated, like Aubrey said. So,
oh my God! All right. So then, speaking of animated, we got a quick look at the Harley Quinn TV show that they're going to be debuting on the DC streaming service. It was only 1 minute long. It was Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy inside of Arkham Asylum. What did you guys think of this trailer? Let's start with Aubrey.
I don't give a fuck.
What? I thought you would like this. It's more traditional Harley Quinn.
I don't care. Just so overrated. Giving it a 1.
What?
Whoa, a 1. Holy shit.
Getting a 1. Just stop the madness. Give somebody else a turn.
Mm-hmm. You mean like Spider-Ham?
No, like any other female DC character.
Katana.
Any other one. Talia al Ghul. Bring her in. She's only been in what, 1 movie? Come on.
I wish I could remember that Suicide Squad quote. This is Katana. Her sword collects souls.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with 1 sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Hey, Joey, what about you, dude?
I'm not the biggest fan of Harley Quinn as a character outside of it being Margot Robbie in short shorts.
Yeah.
So I guess she's gone from being whatever she was supposed to be to now being like DC's answer to Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's kind of wacky, fun. I enjoyed sarcastic Poison Ivy more than I did Harley Quinn.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I don't know if I would watch like 15 seasons of it, but 5 or 6 episodes that were half an hour each, I could see myself watching out of boredom at some point. It was cute and it was funny, I guess. So I'd give the trailer like a 2.5. Like, I'm not excited, but it wasn't awful or anything.
Yeah, I was wondering how Kaylee Cuoco was going to do as the voice of Harley Quinn, but she actually sounded pretty good. I was surprised. I'm like, wow.
Oh, yeah, no problems with that at all.
That actually kind of fits. So that and the deadpan Poison Ivy I thought was fucking awesome. The little Batman cameo was silly. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it. It's not enough to convince me to get the streaming service, but I thought it was fun. And the crack that they made about the Deadpool cartoon was like, that was awesome. I like that. All right, so then the last one, the big enchilada, the big boy, is Jason Momoa is Aquaman. For some reason, Warner Brothers decided to release a 5-minute trailer. 5-minute trailer on this movie to try to convince people that this movie is going to be good and to go see it. What did you think of the trailer and give it a score, Joey?
I went against my own wishes and watched this because I didn't want to. I was going to actually just tell you guys I refused to watch it because I already know I'm going to see Aquaman and I'm not like super excited for it, but I'm not excited for it, I guess. I think I'm like moderately interested in it. And I didn't want to watch a almost 6-minute trailer of this movie ruining stuff.
Yeah.
But I watched it anyway.
That's fine.
It looked pretty good. There was still stuff that looked stupid. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but some of the quips that he says just seem like really forced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the way it's cut in the trailer and it'll be better in the movie, but a lot of times it's like something happens, he makes a quip, then there's like a pause where you're like, is there going to be somebody off camera like going on a drum? Like it's really weirdly cut that way. So hopefully that's not how the movie's going to be. The long shot where the two of them were running and fighting with Black Manta and his goons looked really cool. There was a scene of, I think, Nicole Kidman fighting somebody.
Yep.
That looked pretty cool. But some of the other stuff still is just a little weird and rubbery CG for me at this point. But yeah, I'm still interested. I'd give it like a 3.5. I'm still interested in this Aquaman movie. So
All right.
Again, I like Jason Momoa in the part. I like James Wan as a director. So hopefully it'll be good. Plus Amber Heard's hot.
All right, Aubrey, what about you?
I'm gonna give it about a 4 because I was super excited about this, but I agree with Joey where it feels like the quips are kind of forced.
Yeah.
I don't really like the wig choices in this movie. Like, why? Why did we have to do like this bright, unnatural red that makes it known that this is just a movie, that these are actors? I don't like that. I'm going to a movie because I want to believe that it's going to be real one day. So I give it a 4. I'm still going to see it, but I just kind of am more annoyed by it at this point.
Oh, all right. Well,
I think it's this is a really weird thing to say, but it's time to dial back the marketing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any more of this movie at this point. Like you're it's almost the same thing as SpiderVerse. Like you're almost giving me like half the movie already. I can already piece together what's happening. So it's time to dial back a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with you, except for I think that they really need this movie to work. Like they really need Aquaman to work, and they need to get as many butts in the seats as they can. That being said, I thought the trailer was amazing. Like I'm convinced. I'm all aboard. The fact like that scene of them, that one long tracking shot chase scene of the goons like running through the walls, chasing after Amber Heard, I thought that was amazing. And the final shot of him in the comic accurate costume standing in front of the waterfall, I'm like, I can't believe we live in a world where Aquaman is getting like this big, beautiful, expensive movie trailer, and yet there's no Superman movie in the near future in sight. What is happening with DC? But I thought the trailer was amazing. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I can't wait to see this movie now.
Interesting.
All right, so that's it. That's all I got for trailers. Next week we're gonna cover all of the big news that came out. We talk some Star Wars and other cool stuff.
All right, cool. So I guess that'll bring us up to our main event of the evening. We're going to talk a little bit about the new movie Venom that came out now. Now, taking you all the way back 217 weeks ago on the very first episode of this podcast, we talked about the rumors of this movie coming out, and that was our first taste of Aubrey's love of Venom and Carnage as comic book characters. So I'm interested to see how this shapes up in everybody's opinions. What we'll do first is give some basic impressions. Mark will play a sound drop that'll delineate spoilers, and then we'll be spoiling stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, you're still safe. When you hear us play the spoiler sound drop, you can bounce and come back. But at this point, you've listened enough to count as a download, so it's okay if you don't. Come back, please. So let's start off. Non-spoiler impressions. Aubrey, we've been waiting 217 weeks to hear what you have to say about Venom.
I liked it. And I think I liked it because all expectations of it being like the comics were not there. I didn't expect it to follow the comics. I didn't expect it to follow anything. So I think enjoying it as its own entity really helped. I enjoyed it.
Okay. What about Tom Hardy? How was he in this movie for you?
Without
getting into spoilers.
It's just beautiful. Josh actually turned to me during the movie and he made a comment about something. And I was like, don't be jealous. Just get over yourself just because you can't be him.
Jeez.
I know.
Wow. Ouch. All right. How about you, Mark?
I loved Venom the first time I saw it when it was called Upgrade. This movie, I don't know what the fuck this was. And again, I really, really tried to absorb the movie for what it was because I didn't read the comics. I didn't know the stories. I didn't watch the cartoons. I didn't know like Venom's full storyline potential. So I really wanted to take the movie at face value. And I tried to enjoy it. I really did. But there was one scene where I'm just like, all right, I'm out. I'm out of this movie. So, yeah, I can see why people liked it. I was not one of them.
Okay.
Ouch.
I thought it was okay, I guess. That's the best I can say about it. It's all right, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like 2004's hottest superhero movie.
It really did.
Like, it felt like it fell through a vortex in time from before the Marvel Cinematic Universe or any of that kind of stuff existed. Like, it really felt like if it had come out 2 months after Ben Affleck as Daredevil, you wouldn't even have blinked.
Yep, exactly. And that's the part that really sucked. We can do better, America. We can do better.
Make Venom great again. I'm just getting angry. Now, there were certainly things I liked about it, and there were certainly things I didn't like about it, and we'll get into spoilers with that. But and honestly, to me, the most disappointing thing was when the reviews started coming out online, I was getting really excited because people were making this out to be like The Room of modern superhero movies, and I was getting pumped because I was like, because that's all I wanted from this was to either be so awesome that we're blown away or so bad that we have so much to talk about on the show because it's like Batman versus Superman level of bad. And it wasn't either. It was a little better than meh. It wasn't Justice League levels of wet fart, but like it certainly wasn't offensive in any way, shape, or form to my sensibilities. But certainly I'm not like frothing at the mouth to see it again. It felt a lot like Tomb Raider. Remember when we saw Tomb Raider? You guys remember Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
I know you don't remember much of Tomb Raider because, like me, you walked out of it and started forgetting it immediately. I feel the same way. It was a very blah movie that I barely can remember what happened in it at this point. I only saw it a day ago. So that's our non-spoilery thoughts. Now Mark is going to play a spoiler sound drop, and we're going to talk free spoilers on Venom.
Spoiler alert! I had seen the future, and I had to prevent it.
Excellent. Aubrey, you're going to have to defend this movie.
Okay.
This was like the definition of when are they going to get to the fireworks factory of the movie? Like, where is Venom? Like, why do we have to watch Eddie Brock like stumbling around with a weird accent for like 55 minutes?
I didn't think his accent was as weird as it appeared to be in the trailers.
It definitely was not.
Yeah, it was way better in the actual movie. They took like the worst sections of his accent coming out with him attempting an American accent and put it in those trailers.
Now, did you guys buy his chemistry with Michelle Williams at all?
No.
For like the first scene, I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, all right, I really can't picture how this dude would get this chick, but that's whatever. It's a movie.
You know what? I feel as though that is completely on Michelle Williams because any movie I've ever seen her in, I've never seen chemistry. I've watched him in that movie with Reese Witherspoon.
Yep.
And whew, that scene.
What about on Dawson's Creek? Did you have chemistry there?
I never watched it.
Well, I don't want to wait, Aubrey, for our lives to be over. So
I just, I feel as though that's more on her because I really have just never seen her have like I watched Brokeback Mountain, no chemistry on Brokeback Mountain.
There might be a reason for that. There might be a story reason for that.
But I don't know. Her as a character, like she's just very forgetful to me. Like I never.
Well,
really
she flat out said in interviews that she did this for the money.
Oh yeah, of course.
She flat out said like, Oscar-winning or Oscar-nominated performance movies don't pay for my daughter's school. So
yep.
Yeah, so
It's a really great sale for Venom.
That's the thing. I don't feel as though it was his fault. They could have picked somebody better. Like me. I have a completely free schedule.
You know, as I was watching the screen, I'm like, I wonder if there's a way for Aubrey to like digitally impose her face over Michelle Williams' face when this movie comes out.
Please, internet provide.
Deepfakes.com. Oh, so never mind.
Dearest listeners, if you would like to send me fan mail.
You don't want the fan mail you get, Aubrey.
You know, I'm still shocked about the fan mail that I get because you're just hearing my voice. Really, get over yourselves.
What did you guys think of Riz Ahmed as the bad guy?
He's just weird. I don't know.
So disappointing because he's a really good actor.
Right?
If you ever watch the HBO show The Night of ... he plays a guy that gets accused of murder, and he's fucking fantastic in it. And I was so excited when he was cast in this because I'm like, oh, he's a really good actor. And then he was like, again, 2004's hottest comic book movie villain. It was so generic. It was just like he had nothing to do. He stood around and monologued about nothing. His plan made no sense. And then he dies.
The best parts about this movie is the interaction between Eddie and Venom. By the way, who introduces himself as Venom? Hi, Eddie.
Hi,
my name is Venom. What? Oh my god!
I'm not saying the writing was the best.
It was very frustrating again because we have to sit through 45 minutes of Eddie Brock, the reporter, Eddie Brock dating Michelle Williams, who has the chemistry of a door with him, like. I have to sit through all this stuff. Then he finally gets Venom. And the parts where it's him and Venom arguing in his head and him learning how to use the powers, that stuff was all great.
Yep, agreed.
I could have watched a whole movie about that. Or that should have been the thrust of the beginning of the movie, because that stuff was all fun and funny and it was cool. I loved when he was flipping out and he jumped into the lobster tank and he's like, hungry.
No, that was
starts eating food out of the trash and stuff.
That was the part where I was out of it. Like I can take him and Venom fighting each other for control of his body or whatever, but him jumping in a lobster tank, I'm like, what the fuck movie is this? This is some kind of like slapstick Charlie Chaplin shit. What the fuck is this? So that part I was out. I was done.
I think we have seen that Tom Hardy has the capabilities of playing a character that is mentally unhinged. Because in Bronson, he's just fucking crazy. I feel as though the things that lacked in this movie is it was an origin story, really, that didn't involve Spider-Man. So how is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
So there's challenge number 1 to get past. And then challenge number 2 is, you pick people who are not as invested in this movie as the main person. So, I mean, while Tom Hardy was really accepting of this role, Michelle Williams didn't really care. So that kind of fell flat. And I think accepting it as just a Venom movie kind of overcomes the first challenge because then you're like, okay, this is a brand new character. And he's not even in New York City either. He's in California.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta I think it's tough for people that are really into comics to get over how it's not involving Spider-Man and how is this a completely different entity. Plus, Fox is the one that came out with it. Or is it Sony?
That's Sony.
Who did it? It's Sony?
Yep.
Yeah, so really, I mean, look at what they have made.
Well, see, that's the thing is that I'm not connected to that storyline at all. So I wanted to look at this. I wanted to watch this movie and go, oh, that's why Venom is so popular. Let me run out and buy some books or buy a book. And
They
I didn't
did
get that
take
at all.
bits and pieces from the comics. They're very small pieces,
Mhm.
but they did incorporate some in there.
Yeah, not enough to make me like the character enough to understand.
The frustrating part is that this is the second part of Venom's story in theory.
Right.
You know, the beginning is Venom is black goo, not Prometheus, but he's black goo. He becomes Spider-Man's costume, gets rejected. Eddie Brock was a reporter that worked for a competing newspaper.
Yep.
He ran a story about who the Sin Eater was, who was a masked villain in Spider-Man at the time, and he got it wrong. And so Peter Parker got the story right, obviously, because he's Spider-Man, so he busted the guy, so he knew who it was. So he hates Peter Parker. So the costume finds him because his hate is so pure for Peter Parker. They become Venom. Venom's a bad guy, blah, 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 blah. And then through machinations of things, Venom decides he's done hating Spider-Man. He's going to go off and try to be a hero. He's like an anti-hero, and that's the Lethal Protector story.
Okay.
And we're already here at that point, so he's already now in San Francisco. We already like Venom and Eddie. That's like, we already like him. So I don't know, how do you even bring Spider-Man into this? Because the whole idea of Spider-Man being into this is that the costume was Spider-Man's, it hates him, Venom's this big scary monster, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
We how do you come back to that after we watched him, slapstick jokes about eating lobsters and Chinese food?
Mm-hmm.
But the weird things that they they have him imprisoned by the Life Corporation, which is also in the comics. And then the other kind of weird parts I don't know how they're going to do is that Eddie was super depressed and tried to kill himself and everything, and then he ended up getting into another fight with Spider-Man, and then he was imprisoned, and that's how kind of Carnage became about. That's how he came in contact with Cletus. So I'm not entirely sure how they're going to spin that either, because how did Cletus Cassidy get Carnage? Without that piece of it, how did the goo survive in an oxygen-rich environment enough to get to solitary confinement? Without Eddie Brock going to jail, how did that happen? Because the symbiote's supposed to, what am I trying to say? It's supposed to replicate, and spawn a new symbiote, and that's how all the other ones come about. And that's how Carnage comes about. So how are they going to spin that, per se? And then again, Eddie and Spider-Man fight again. They have this back and forth relationship. So is there going to be a movie where you incorporate Spider-Man and then him and Venom start fighting? Like something like Annie dies and then they start fighting? Like, is that how it's going to happen? So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's safe to say that they're just throwing all of the rules out of the window. Like, they're like, whatever happened in the book, we're just going to do our own thing and make it the way that we want to make it. I really wanted to come out of this movie thinking it's going to be, or I really wanted to come out of this movie hoping it was be better than what I was expecting. You know what I mean? I really wanted to be like a nice little, special little, oh, okay. I get the Venom love. I understand why people are down with it. But this movie is so shoddily put together. How do you have a villain like the first symbiote that's inside of the astronaut?
Mm-hmm.
It wakes up, kills everyone in the ambulance, and then walks. Why don't you just stay in
the ambulance?
Yeah, why don't you just stay in the car? It makes no sense. And then it takes it 6 months to.
Well, it was walking.
Yeah.
No, it goes to the airport. It transfers into like a little girl. No one cares that this little girl's walking around the airport by herself. No one knows where her mother is. No one cares about any of this. It takes 6 months to fly from Malaysia to America.
Why did Eddie have to leave his phone at that guy's office? Why couldn't he just text him the pictures?
Right? We could just email
That's
it to him.
just shitty writing, though.
Yes. This movie has a lot of shitty writing.
Let's see. One of the writers was the dude that did Life on Mars? Okay, he must have not done the majority of the writing. Let's see about Jeff Pickner.
Right.
But Jeff Pickner did Alias, too. So you have two writers, okay? One of them did episodes of Alias, episodes of Lost, Fringe, and the other one in The Dark Tower. He did The Dark Tower. Oh, no, that's a producer. Hold on, writer. What has he wrote? Wrote Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Fringe, Alias, Ally McBeal, And Scott Rosenberg wrote Life on Mars, which is a fantastic show. That show is so fucking amazing. I can't even believe that he wrote Venom, honestly.
Yeah, I'm betting they threw a lot of that script away. That's what I'm thinking. They probably have credits on it, but I'm assuming a lot of that script got wound up in the trash.
I heard that like 5 hours got cut from this movie.
God.
Or however much it was. Yeah, like the majority of the good parts of this movie were cut from it, which is a shame because I'm sure that 5 hours that was attached to this movie or whatever it was the meat of the actual movie and would have made it seem less horrible.
Yep, I absolutely agree with you. I bet it was. I'll bet it was. All right, but what did you guys think of the stinger at the end?
I think his wig looked terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fine. I mean, I guess, you know, it's fine. It made sense why Eddie would be there if he is now a writer, still a reporter, why he would go talk to a serial killer. So that's fine. It's just, I don't know. You know, what I want is more Venom and Eddie talking to each other. That's it. That's all I want. If we can make the next movie focus on that, great. No more 45 minutes of talking and nonsense. No more terrible CG fights like at the end. Oh, God, that was bad.
Oh, my God. All right, Aubrey, what about you? You got your wish, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that stinger?
I was like smacking Josh in the arm. I was so excited. I think that Woody Harrelson's wig looks horrible.
Yep.
As well. And I just think that they just stop wigs. Hollywood should just stop using wigs because obviously they can't do it appropriately. There's not one movie where I have seen a wig that was done right. So Hollywood, your wig privileges have been cut off. Just stop it. But I am so excited. I think Woody Harrelson is the absolute perfect choice for this character. I really do.
Cool. I thought the movie, at this point, my brain was already checked out. I didn't even care. I'm like, is this supposed to mean something to anyone? It didn't mean anything to me. So, unfortunately, I think we are going to get a second one because this one, I know we made our predictions last week of what it was going to do. I was way off. This movie made like 80 mil this weekend. So, yeah.
I think I was at, what did I choose? 69?
Something like that. We were in the high 60s.
Yeah.
So Aubrey is the winner of that.
There's a surprise. Have faith in my man. See? Cast me.
Well, hopefully, you know, even though they were, like I said, even though we were able to kind of get this out and it's flawed, hopefully they'll see what worked and what people liked and what didn't and kind of mold the next movie based on that.
No way. They're going to see the dollar signs. They're going to see the receipts and be like, all right, let's just do it again. More of the same.
God, no. That's my sad realization. They're going to get the wrong message from this. Yep. And we're going to be getting Jackpot the movie. The Big Wheel and the Spot movies.
You want the Big Wheel movie, don't even lie.
I would watch it, depending on who plays the wheel.
So, yeah, like I said before, if you want to see this movie done right, watch Upgrade. It legit, and the dude looks like Tom Hardy, so you're almost getting the perfect version of the story.
Is it that doppelganger?
Yeah, yep. The guy that was in Spider-Man.
God, he's gorgeous.
Upgrade.
Since I can't get the real thing because he's married, you know. Is Logan Marshall Green married though? Let's see.
Well, let's anybody else have anything else they want? Anybody have anything else they want to say about Venom?
All the good ones are taken.
I just couldn't get over how bad the script was. The fact that the doctor snuck Eddie Brock into the building, like using her handprint to unlock the doors, but didn't think that anyone would check the records to see it was her that unlocked the doors. Like, how did Eddie Brock get in here? Just look at the footage. Just look who opened the door. Shit like that drove me nuts. So I'm glad Sony has some money in their pocket. Good for them. But man, then once the Eminem song came on at the end, I'm like, holy shit, what year is this?
I saw a guy when I was leaving wearing one of those silk, like all over print club shirts.
Oh, yeah.
with Venom on it and like Chinese writing, and he had jean shorts on.
He was waiting for this.
He like came out of a time warp with the movie. That's how the movie got here. He delivered it. Probably got in his car and listened to a lot of Limp Bizkit as he drove home.
That's what was missing for a soundtrack featuring Limp Bizkit.
That's right.
Eminem.
Now I know why you want to hate me. All right, let's give a score and some final thoughts. Aubrey, out of 5, Venom.
5.
Whoa, Jesus.
What?
5 out of 5.
Wow.
Okay, Mark.
I'm going to give it a 2. 2 out of 5.
Wow. And you're usually a very forgiving grader. Oh.
Yeah, the dude's walking down the street. It's a bright, sunny day, and Venom's like, I'm hungry. He's like, all right, let's go get something to eat. I know a place. And he goes into the place, and he walks outside. It's the dead of night. Did he walk to Malaysia to get to this? Like, wow, what the fuck?
Well, it took the other person 6 months to walk from the airport to a cab, so...
Oh, my God, drove me nuts.
Time is a flat circle, Mark. I gave it a 2.25 out of 5.
Oh, okay. Not much more to me.
No, and you know what? It's not horrible. That's the thing. There's the bones of something interesting here. And like I said, any time where it's just Tom Hardy and Venom interacting with each other and him learning how to use his powers and them bantering back and forth, you know, it's teetering on being fun and good. It's getting there. But then, you know, we have the first excruciating 45 minutes and then that last 15 minutes, which is a CGI abortion on the screen, where at times I couldn't even tell what the fuck was happening.
Yep.
The CG Riz Ahmed and Tom Hardy inside the symbiotes was so bad it looked like the Burly Brawl from Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't defend that.
And we get the same old, you know, early 2000s superhero trope. The villain gets killed at the end. You know, like it was just. So there's kernels. It's like taking a shit and there's corn in it. There's kernels in there.
What'd you guys think of female Venom?
That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that part I did not like.
See, Aubrey, I thought you would have loved that. You get Eddie Brock and Venom making out. Figure that's all you.
Yeah, but it was another
That's
girl
what I
kissing
mean.
him. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right.
It's a sad time. I am a sad panda.
Well, looks like you've got some decisions to make there, listener, as to whether you want to see Venom or not. But that's our take. So let's get some recommendations out there for the listeners. Aubrey, what do you got?
So don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
The movie, or is that just your advice?
That's just my advice.
She's like, that's a movie?
Yeah. No, I've watched that movie.
I saw it in the movie theater.
Not awful. That's the baby's lunch.
All right. How about you, Mark?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you want to see Venom done right, watch Upgrade. It's so much better than this movie, and it costs like a fifth of the budget. And it's rated R, and it's actually intelligent. It actually works.
Hungry. All right. Well, I will suggest that all of you out there go check out SoWizardPodcast.com, where you'll find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media accounts on the right-hand side of the page. Movie reviews, streaming picks, and so much more from Adam and Markellis. SoWizardPodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes /Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just about anywhere under the sun that you find podcasts will be there. You can leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Helps out the show. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/SoWizardPodcast. You can pledge money towards the show, help us out monetarily with things like new equipment, going to cons, paying for our Podbean hosting. And that gets you an extra episode of the show every month. This month, we're going to be reviewing, straight from the list of Aubrey, Pootie Tang. Next month, we might have 2 Patreon episodes, depending on how things shake out. So we got some cool stuff going on. And yeah, I'm going to recommend that you watch Titans on the DC Universe app. The first couple episodes should be dropping as this podcast launches. So next week, you'll be ready to go when we review those first couple episodes on episode 219 of the podcast. But this has been episode number 218 of the podcast, where we talked about Venom, New York Comic Con, and so much more. On behalf of my co-hosts, the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
We are Venom. That's the best I can do.
Good job. Good job.
Thanks. I don't have a deep voice.
That's probably a good thing. And the expert, Mr. Marquis, Mark Hillis Reagans.
Oh God, can Marvel please get the rights to Venom or all of the Spider-Man characters? Somebody do something. Wakanda forever.
I can't wait for Night Watch. We'll see you next week, kids. Good journey.